Welcome back, everyone. I will tell you up front, for many years, I had been a very strong skeptic that vaccines caused autism. I didn't believe it. I didn't think it was possible. I didn't think our federal government would ever put our children in a position to cause such a horrible thing amongst young people. Then, of course, goes on with them into their adulthood. Well, after COVID, my eyes opened up to everything, as you know. I mean, I've been outspoken about all of the ills of the federal government, the cover-ups of big pharma, the money involved, and the last thing anybody had been concerned about was safety. And then I see this report from the McCullough Foundation. Yes, I'm talking about Dr. Peter McCullough. He's got a researcher with him, Nicholas Holscher. They do such fabulous work. It found that 79% of studies on childhood vaccinations and autism, that they found a link in 79% of the studies on childhood vaccination and autism found a link. 12 studies focused solely on vaccinated versus unvaccinated children, and all showed better health outcomes among the unvaccinated. Now, this is a very important story, and I want to bring in now world-renowned doctor. He's chief scientific officer over at the Wellness Company. He's also turned out to be a good friend of mine. Dr. Peter McCullough is here. Doc, it's great to see you.
Thank you. Great to see you.
Doc, this is a powerful study. I started to go through a lot of it. And tell me why this is as powerful as it is.
You know, Grant, over a year ago, McCullough Foundation received independent funding to do exactly what we did, an independent report. The last time the Institute of Medicine looked at this was in 2004. Remember, the U.S. government is in the vaccine business, and they haven't been forthright on bringing forward a comprehensive report on the autism epidemic. So that's what we did. We examined all the available information, synthesized it. There are evidence tables, over 300 references. This is the most comprehensive report on autism that exists in history, Grant. And we found that there is no single cause, but there clearly are risk factors, including older parents, premature delivery, some common genetic variants, prenatal exposures. But far and away, the biggest, most dominant risk factor is children receiving vaccines in combination. So a susceptible child receives a big battery of vaccines, is born normal, but then they convert to autism.
All right. Doc, this is important because two things I take away from this: that vaccines aren't the only possible cause of autism, that there's a whole slew of things that could cause them. But by and large, vaccinations played a very large role. Is it more than any of the other things that could happen?
It is, Grant. We looked at this carefully. In the Swedish study, for instance, that examined Tylenol, which is not related to autism, by the way, the Alquist study, only 7.5% of pregnant women take Tylenol in that study. It can be more, but this is really the common factor. Virtually every child receives a large battery of vaccines, and it increases every year. And what we saw is that these patterns appear to be post-encephalitic patterns of neurodevelopmental disorders. And it's not just autism, it's ADHD, it's seizures and tics. This, to me, clinically looks like a post-encephalitic pattern of brain inflammation after vaccines. It's no specific vaccine and no specific ingredient, but it's the sum total effect in a susceptible child. And it is modifiable because we can modify the vaccines that are given.
You know, I can't help but take notice, Dr. McCullough, that you and I have been talking about this kind of stuff for, 4 or 5 years now. And you had said and told me, I don't know the date, but for a while, that you thought it was the large batches of multiple vaccines at one time. You had was it a hunch on this? How did you know that so early?
Papers had been published. I give credit to Andrew Wakefield, who's one of the authors. He made the seminal observation in 1998 and published it in Lancet. That was a valid paper for over 10 years until Big Pharma pressured Lancet to take it down. And then other very solid analyses came in. The Institute of Medicine considered it a closed case in 2004, but yet more and more vaccines came on the market and more information was published. Grant, now we have 12 studies showing a healthy child born today is healthier and free of these problems, including autism, if they take no vaccines at all.
So that's maybe the most amazing result of this study to me, is that by and large, in a big way, the unvaccinated kids were healthier, and all we've been told is that if you don't give your kids the vaccines, they're going to die, and everybody else around them is going to have all kinds of problems. This is just not the case, Doc.
It's not, because sanitation, cleanliness, detection, treatment, antibiotics, ICU care, we don't have the infectious disease threats now that we had 300, 200, even 100 years ago. It's very different. We don't even test clinically for diphtheria and pertussis anymore because it's covered with antibiotics. So I think we really need to have an overhaul of the vaccine schedule, move towards risk stratification, eliminate these liability protections on the vaccines. The companies would probably take them off the market, many of them very quickly. And then we need to remove these requirements for school, military, and employment. Vaccines should be available, but it should be a discussion between the doctor and the patient. That's it.
Yeah, I think that's so important. All right, I want to ask you, because the wellness company, where you're chief scientific officer, and you've come up with some pretty amazing products. So take the COVID vaccine. There is a way now to combat this spike protein, and the wellness company and your formula of this spike protein formula can help get this spike protein out of the body. Can you tell me about it?
Grant, there's 4 or 5 now scientifically supported papers, the McCullough protocols, base spike detoxification. In the ultimate spike detox, which is medicinal grade, high dose nattokinase, bromelain, and other ingredients, does lower the antibodies against the spike protein, which is a very tight proxy for the spike protein in the body after COVID and the vaccine, and people get better. Now, it takes a long time, a year or longer, but these are healthy supplements that have other benefits.
All right, I'm going to tell people how they can get that. And again, Dr. McCullough, you tell Nicholas, who helped you with this study, what a great job, and very, very impressive stuff. We appreciate you, as always, coming on the program.
Thank you.